I am going to share with you how I set it up with Kajabi. So I've talked over and over again, as I said, my secret weapon is Zapier, and Zapier allows you to connect apps and software that don't have a normal native integration and allows you to be able to connect them to have Zapier act as the go-between to pass information in one app to another. So I'm going to make a Zap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I want to start with Kajabi. And it asks me, what is the trigger event? So what's going to happen to start this whole process? So it's going to be a new purchase. And I click continue. And it's asking for my Kajabi account. And of course, I've already set up Kajabi with Zapier, so it knows that there's an existing connection. If you're just starting out completely new, there's going to be an extra step in here where you're going to need to connect Kajabi to Zapier. So I'm going to choose my site. Now, I've got tons of sites, but this is going to be the programs. And what offer? And so this is where you could choose any offers. So for example, I would have one for coaching sessions. So if somebody purchased a one-off 1 hour coaching session with me, maybe I want to acknowledge them through a Bonjoro. So I'm going to click continue. And I'm going to skip the test because there's probably not a test purchase in there. Now, the next step is, so what do I want? What is the next step? What is it that I want to happen? So I'm going to say I want to connect Bonjoro. And my options for Bonjoro, there's only one, which is create a Bonjoro. And what that means really is it creates a task in my Bonjoro site. Because remember, it creates the task and then it's going to send me a message through Slack that says, Deanna, you've got a new Bonjoro you need to record. So I click create Bonjoro and then click connect. Now it's asking me to sign in. I was already signed in, but it still wants me to sign in here. There we go. And we click continue. And now it's going to ask me, what is it that I want to map on Kajabi's side? So Bonjoro is saying, I need an email address. So I can say right here, okay, the member email address matches email address for Bonjoro's. First name is optional, but there's no point in being personal if you don't use somebody's first name. So I'm using their first name. Last name is optional. I'll go ahead and use it. The reason why you're sending a Bonjoro. So this would be, again, because this is your note for your task in Bonjoro. So I would say new coaching client and continue. I'm going to go ahead and say test. Okay, so I did a test and I'm going to turn on my Zap. Hopefully you can see that down in the bottom of the screen because you may not see the, yeah, you can see I turned on the Zap. Okay, so we're all connected. I'm going to go to my Bonjoro tasks and I'm going to refresh the screen. Let's cross our fingers. Yes. So there is our test with our dummy data. And what it's done is it's set it up with their name and their email address all ready for me to click record now. And the same thing, if I refresh my my Bonjoro app, sorry about that, I just tapped it and lost it. I don't know if you can see, there's my Kajabi test. So I would get a message in Slack that said, Deanna, you got a Bonjoro to record. I don't pull out my phone, I tap it, and then I can just click record and send my new coaching client a personal thank you. I think this is really cool. I really like it. And you saw exactly what happens. They get an email, has the link. Again, it could be whether they're on their phone or they're on their desktop, they'll go to that recording. Ultimately, we all want to be reaching that level of automation to kind of like have things happen behind the scenes, and then it just tells us what we need to do and we can just do it. So that's why I really, really love my Zapier Zap. So just in a recap, I highly recommend testing out Bonjoro. Take advantage of the free trial or just use the free version. You won't have the benefit of all the automations, but you can very easily send out messages on your own and give it a try, see how it would work for your business. If you can, incorporate a direct integration or using Zapier to create that automation. If you have any questions or you're watching on the replay and you want to ask any questions, go ahead and feel free to drop a comment in. I'll put a link to Bonjoro, and also I'll put a link, again, I'm going to be doing a flash sale to the wait list very soon for the K Flight Crew Club, and would love to have some of you join me on that. And until then, thank you so much for joining me. Have a fabulous weekend. Bye-bye.